पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति.
And now for a devotional song. It will be sung this evening by Sanchari.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम भज प्यारे मन सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम भज प्यारे मन सीताराम। जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम सबको सन्मति दे भगवान। ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम सबको सन्मति दे भगवान। जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। मुख में तुलसी घट में राम जब बोलो तब सीताराम। मुख में तुलसी घट में राम जब बोलो तब सीताराम। जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। कौशल्या का वाला राम दशरथ जी का प्यारा राम। कौशल्या का वाला राम दशरथ जी का प्यारा राम। जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। बंसी वाला हे घनश्याम धनुषधारी सीताराम। बंसी वाला हे घनश्याम धनुषधारी सीताराम। जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम।
Let's give her a hand. We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru Pujyatman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is December the 16th, 2018, and Swamiji continues with the lecture series on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is series 2018, lecture number 24. And now our revered Guru, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, entitled Karma Yoga, insight into the path of karma, action. And we are dealing with the verse number 12. And Lord Krishna made his statement that Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantuya. If you are serving gods, gods in turn will do amazing good for you. Between you and God, gods, not one God. And what does that mean from practical point of view? Central theme behind it. It relates to the mantra from the Upanishad, of the root letter da. Da, this Upanishadic teaching starts in the form of a parable. That Brahma, having created this whole world process, gave a mantra as a source of ideal that must be followed by all. And to listen to his teachings, three personalities presented themselves before Brahma. One representing gods, another representing human beings, another representing demoniac beings. And all the three go to form this world process. You don't look around it, look within yourself. All the three are mixed up. And Brahma gave this simple message, the. And then the godly representative was brought privately and asked, did you understand the mantra? He said, yes. It means Dhamma. Live your life not as a slave. Be the master of your chariot. Your body, mind, intellect, they are for you to shine. Let your divine shine through this system, the chariot of body, mind, and senses. So, live to discover your lordship over them, not slavery. Created by them. If you do that, that's the Dhamma. Shabash. Did you speak Urdu? That's well done. And then human personality, the human representative comes. And Brahma asks, what did you understand? Yes, he said. Dan. Live your life with charity. Human within you comes indebted, in deep debt. 5 types of debts. Let me repeat those debts. They were in a debt to God. Rishi Rina, debt to sages who have brought all that spiritual insight. And you paid to God, you pay by your prayer, mantra, and Godward movement. To sages, by utilizing and following the guidance they have given through the scriptures. If you keep their scriptures, simply shut up and open your new scriptures from the Google. Nothing against. I'm joking. Utilize the scriptural teaching, then you are paying debt to sages. Now, next debt, Pitris, forefathers. Live in such a way that your forefathers are not ashamed of you. If they exist somewhere and they get the news, they will be very proud. If you are doing good deeds, and it goes to such an extent, Bhakti Sutras, one of the sutras says, if anyone were to become devotee of God, true devotion enters your heart. Nityanti Pitaro. The forefathers, wherever they are, they begin to dance. They become very thrilled. You cannot pay better rin to your forefathers than proving to them that you love God. And then you are indebted to human beings. Imagine how much work human beings have done in many areas. The cloth you wear, the balms you put on your whatever. And amazingly, science has put you in touch with all that is on this globe with fingers. Behind all that, so many personalities have sacrificed their lives to discover those laws, to utilize them, to develop the technology. Now, you shouldn't just live to enjoy what they have given, do something also in return. Allow yourself also to be serviceable to human beings. And it is this quality is called dhan. Live with the spirit of doing good to others. Another word is paropakar, doing good to others. And in order to do good to others, utilize your talents. And then the last debt is very important. We are indebted to birds and beasts. They have been the best psychologists to deal with human stress. Imagine what will happen to humanity if there were no pets around, no birds, not even a lizard. So, develop a relationship with animals, birds, in such a way that they also should thrive along with you. All this comes under the word when Brahma said to human being, da. That da relates to giving charity. And the charity to pay off your 5 debts. And that's the central feature of Hindu religion. Who is a Hindu? He who believes, he knows that he is indebted. And he must pay 5 debts. And this point is brought into everyday life before you start your food, orthodox method. Invoke God, and 5 little portions are put out of your food, paying those 5 debts. They are not wasted, you give to your pet. And third, as so far I have been talking about, Dhamma, Dan. Now the demon aspect. Demon representative comes to Brahma, and Brahma asks, did you understand? Da. He says, oh Lord, I understand. Gods have always pushed us. We should have daya, compassion, so we can control our demoniac nature. Brahma said, bravo. We won't find that in Upanishad. So, assimilating this da aspect in your personality, that's the central feature of yajna. Yajna means negative in you is wild animal. That negative has to be sacrificed. As you begin to sublimate your anger into love, this sacrifice gives nourishment to gods within you. Otherwise they are starving. And when they starve too much, they can't help you. You pray to them, give me more wealth. And Lakshmi Devi is so weak. Understand, I'm talking from a very mature level. Why she is weak? Because you have not offered yajna. You have not allowed your negativity to be sublimated. If you have not developed that attitude to sublimate and enjoy sublimating them, then the positive that you are invoking will not be effective. That's what the subtle meaning is. So gods, your mantras for gods, your prayers for gods, all become limited if you are not developing divine virtues. So the animal in you has to be sacrificed. Hearing these words, masses took it literally. Countless animal sacrifice still goes on and on. But that's a different matter. First verse, Istan bhogan hi wo deva dasyante yagya bhavita tairar tana pradayabhyo yo bhunkte sena evasa. The gods pleased by yajna, this type of sacrificing spirit enters, the divine within you is pleased. And what happens? Virtuous qualities begin to develop. So the gods pleased by yajna will bestow upon you the objects of your desire. It has two implications. Objects of your, firstly, because you are performing yajna, your desiring movement will be a healthier movement. You will not be desiring things that are harmful for you. Healthy desires. Second point, that desiring process leading to fulfillment of all desires. Two stages, coming virtuous karma giving you a progress in a spiritual way and allowing you to turn towards niskamya karma, actions that are not going to bring you in the world of time and space, but actions that are opening the door to discover who am I, aham brahmasmi. So, fulfillment of desire has two levels. Three types of fulfillment is there. Tamasic fulfillment, whatever you desire, no matter whether it is harmful to you or not, he gives it. Brahmana desired to be very strong, healthy. And he was given the boon and allowed to have 10 heads, all that. But tamasic fulfillment is not a real, it is a divine trick. Let me turn your attention to a little more sattvic story. Sage Narada once was deluded, wanted to marry a princess. Because astrologers told that whoever marries the princess will be the greatest. But he looked at himself and he found he was not so handsome. So how can have the princess choose him? So I figured it out. Who could be more handsome than Lord Vishnu? So immediately invoked Lord Vishnu. Said, "Oh Lord, how gracious you are. I invoked you and you came." And Lord said, "Ask anything, I will give you." He said, "I want to have your personality, your looks. That's all I want. If you want to give it just for a short time, do it." You must realize that I always make up. Because spiritual stories is not history. They are parables. And the parable cannot be exactly told literally, then it doesn't have the taste. Narada looks at himself. Everything is of Lord Vishnu. He goes into the assembly and looks at the princess who has a mala garland in her hands. And hardly she looks at him from the corner, she runs to another. Narada is surprised. She didn't see me this side. Goes to another direction, confronting her. And she runs with horror to another area. And there happened to be some Shivaganas. They are like journalists, interested in what's going on. They come to Narada, seeing him so agitated. They say, "Oh, why don't you see your face? You will understand the reason why the princess runs away from you." And Narada cannot believe this type of instruction being given to him. However, he looks into a little puddle of water, and he's horrified to see his face is a monkey face. He had seen the body, he had not seen his own face. So he believed that whatever Vishnu gave has fulfilled his desire. So I was giving you the illustration that every desire is not fulfilled. And you may feel that you have been fulfilled. That's because tamasic desire operates that way. Just so that you are not so curious about this story. At this stage, when he realizes, and then, more shocking, while he is in a state of shock, Lord Vishnu comes, and that princess was Lakshmi Devi. They are putting a show for him. And Lakshmi Devi puts the garland on Vishnu, and the chariot starts. And Narada loses his temper, and he says, "Curses Lord Vishnu." That you will suffer because of this princess. But don't worry, this terrible face that you gave to me will come to your help. Lord Vishnu smiled and said, "That's exactly what was my plan for Rama avatar, to incarnate as Rama." So that's a different matter. So, in other words, human desire and your love for God for fulfilling the desire. Try to understand there is many subtle points involved. Why is it that every desire is not fulfilled? Lord should be very compassionate. But think in a very simple way. Does a mother fulfill every little desire of her darling baby? Many times it whips the baby away. And it is by doing so, she secures her real motherly love. So your divine relation with you, God is mother of mothers. And so, whatsoever You ask will not be given to you unless it is healthy for you, for your own spiritual progress. So gods pleased by yajna will bestow upon you the objects of your desire. Those who enjoy the objects given by the gods without offering to them, in other words, if you do not allow your negative anger to be sublimated into love, pride into humility, arrogance into tenderness, if you don't allow that to happen, you will not receive a proper reciprocation from the godly set within yourself. And without pleasing the gods, if you simply live to enjoy your life, then you are thieves. Playing the role of a thief is a very difficult thing. you are never restful. Pleased with the offerings, the gods will bless you with the fulfillment of your desires. Without offering to gods, if you live for enjoyment alone, you are a thief. I'll draw your attention to another quotation from the scripture, Kathopanishad. There is a statement that if one does not perform act of charity, then he loses blessings. And what are the statement is, if a Brahman has come to your door and you don't welcome him and satisfy him, Brahman becomes symbolic of welcoming the project of developing virtues. If you don't do that, asha, pratiksha, sangata, sunrita, ishta, purta, putra, pashu, all these become affected. Let me give you simple point. Life to be prosperous and really joyous, whenever you have a desire, you must find fulfillment of your desire. If it is not so, your life is, you are not really living a joyous or healthy life. Your mind is invaded by desires that simply wander like deer for the mirage. So that's one blessing comes if you are following the righteous path. Your desires in your mind will not be vain desires. Desires in your mind will not be backed up by a very weak will and empty qualification. You deserve. You don't deserve, but just desire. your whole bucket of water you want from the rain, but you have turned the bucket upside down. Singing, rain, rain, fill my bucket. So, that's one factor, making life joyous. To have healthy desires and you go after it. Next, pratiksha. For every desire that you have, there is a need for patience, waiting. If you have wrong desires, your pratiksha, your waiting process is full of strain. 90% of life goes in waiting room. If you have healthy desire, sattvic desire, the waiting itself is enriching. Even while you are waiting, you are sucking some soda. You are having a good time. Sangata, another point, even while you are waiting, you have also the possibility of good people around you, talking on good topics, allowing your heart to be joyous and enriched. The blessing of satsanga. Next point, surita, friendly talk. The talks, words that come out from you, you are yourself surprised. How good did I do? My words touched the heart of a person, made the person feel joyous. How wonderful. And then you turn back, it came from Goddess Saraswati. So you don't hold it on your ego. See, these are little flavors. In spirituality, not just, I ask this and give that. Manu Nash, no, I want Vasana. No, I want Tattva Jnana. Next point, ishta, attaining object that is truly beneficial for you, what your heart desires. And that's real progress. You are a student and you are desiring to have a high grade. It's perfectly normal and you have studied for it, working for it, and that desire becomes fulfilled. You follow the right way of your effort. Life should not be a life of constant failure. It should be a life of triumph. Next, purta, supplementary acts of charity. Supplementary acts. As you gain fulfillment of your desire, then what happens? Your heart develops an amazing capacity to help others. First stage being good, Next stage, doing good. The doing good process becomes surprisingly good. How good could you be? You yourself don't know. And in that direction, you do supplementary acts of virtue. That you have to understand. Speaking good words, advising in a good way, treating people with good qualitative heart, and so many secondary things. Giving donations, etc. Many things, all are called secondary acts, called purta. And next point, if you are living the grihasthashram life, you have good children who will allow your spiritual progress to be perfectly in order and more enhanced. And next, pashu. Even the animals around you will become a kind of a cozy relationship. All these that you get, allegorically, that's how the Lakshmi smiles. You're not just waiting for only one thing to happen. All these points, your asha, desire, healthy desire, pratiksha, the way you wait for something good and you know it is coming. That waiting period, again, is a joyous period. Good atmosphere, good words with people, otherwise with negative personalities, if even just a few sharp words hit your heart in such a way that it takes long time to be healed. So waiting period is a risky situation. And so all those points I have described and I have given more time to it. It's good to understand that spiritual life doesn't simply mean to focus your mind on how many malas of japa, which mala. All those are important. But understand the details in your life. As sattva enters, many things in your personality change in a profound way. When you become healthy, many things in your biological system change. You have to study medicine to understand it. But it happens automatically. Sahaj. यज्ञ शिष्टाशिनः संतो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल विषय भुंजते ते त्वघं पापा ये पचन्त्यात्म कारणात्. Those good ones, those righteous people who eat only what is left from the yajna are freed of all sins. The literal meaning, which is actually misleading, and not misleading, it's kindergarten stage of religion. That whenever you are enjoying something, let's say, for example, you want to eat laddus, eat nice sweet things. Come, listen to satsanga. And then get the prasad. But if you come from the back door, get the prasad without listening to satsang. That's thievery. Figure that out. Your sense of being joyous, your expectation to enjoy wonderful type of happiness, all that must be aligned with the spirit of sacrifice, allowing the negative in you to move away. Put it in a very practical way. Christmas is coming. Your expectation to have lots of people to come and join and create a joyous party, all that's good. But what's not good? That if you keep your room full of mosquitoes, cobwebs, or things that will create allergic effect on people. Then all your expectation of joy has become envenomed. So therefore, yajna must be highlighted. Yajna, the spirit of sacrificing, sublimating the negative, and thereby allowing the divine within you, the higher self, to become more vigorous, effective. But those evil men who prepare food for themselves alone, are eaters of sin. If in your life you do not have the subtle insight that you cannot make your life joyous by pursuing your hot-headed mentality, if you don't understand that point, then no matter how much you are able to possess all types of enjoyments, but what are you eating? Sin. It's not so easy to understand. What you are doing, through every enjoyment, you are promoting your negative karma. Every enjoyment is giving nourishment for a type of strength that will make you do more negative. And this is a very terrible situation. Subtlety and sensitivity must enter in human heart. Sabko sanmati de Bhagavan. अन्नाद् भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्यात् अन्न संभवः यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यो यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्माक्षर समुद्भवं तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्. From food there arise the body of all, physical body of all souls. From rains come food. It is yajna, sacrifice, that gives rise to rain. while yajna is born of karma. Highly allegorical words. And people in ritualistic level adopt it literally as well, and there is perfectly they are in order. In other words, if you create sacrificial fire, allow all the herbal aroma to spread, that's what happens. The mantras recited, all that give wonderful impressions on the minds of people and the masses. But in so doing, they also bring in animals being sacrificed, etc. But I will not give time for that stage. The real purpose of yajna has two aspects. Karma, turn your life towards swadharma, that which is in agreement with your personality, and blend it with the spirit of surrender to God. Do your karma, which is your duty, blended with surrender to God, blended with devotional movement. Both are again progressive. More good karma, better is possibility for you to surrender. More surrender, better will be you become an instrument in divine hand. Karma, this process, yajna gives rain. Rain, shower of grace. The real shower that nourishes spiritual food. Food is of different types. What you are getting now is also food. Food for thought, food for your feeling. So that food is brought about by the rain. That rain comes from the clouds of virtue. Know that karma proceeds from Brahma, the Vedas. Now this statement that every soul must exercise karma. That's the rule of Brahma. That's the way the whole entire creation. But karma is self-effort that has two fingers. Self-effort, holding on to your swadharma, and surrendering to God. This is called karma presented by the Vedas. The Vedas give you this instruction about how to conduct yourself. And that Brahma who is presented by the Vedas, the Brahma's teachings come through the Vedas. So the statement, this comes from Brahma, is same as comes from the Vedas. And all this source by Brahma, that Brahma himself is Brahman appearing through Maya. So then, in every karma, every self-effort, if rightly designed by you, if all the ducks are in line, then every karma you do has a profound effect. It has. You may not exactly enjoy it, you may have to sometimes experience suffering, etc., but A tree has to shake in many ways in order to be nourished. But one thing is secure, every shaking in a healthy tree is nourishing the root. Same shaking that would have broken you down. Now, the very plan of shaking is in divine hand. The wind that blows has been told exactly how much you should shake the tree. The entire world order is drawn by Brahman. Brahman is the source. Backed up by Brahman, Brahma the creator. And in his creation process, there is a divine law of karma. But here karma we are referring not in the ordinary way of you do negative, then you get punished. We are talking about karma as self-effort. Every soul, the moment you are born, you are already in a stream of activity. Certain things you have to discover. First you have to discover your own nerves, your own brain. Discover how to grow. But while you are doing many things, you go on discovering. And all the process is led by a law. Nothing comes just by accident. You have worked for it, if not in this life, in the previous life. And that law continues, that law of karma. But in that karma process, you are bringing spirit of sacrifice. 3 das. Controlling the mind, being charitable, generous, developing compassion. If you are doing that, you are moving towards the highest goal. Know that karma proceeds from Brahma, the Vedas, and the Vedas emanate from the divine self, Brahman. Therefore, the all-pervading, eternal Brahman is seated in yajna. Every little thing you do, Brahman is behind it. Brahmarpanam Brahmavi Brahmagnau Brahmana Utam. The same statement, Gita puts it later. Brahmarpanam, every time, everything you do, spirit of, you are dedicating it to Brahma. Brahmavi, Brahma is the material of oblation. Brahma is the fire. Brahma is the mantras by which fire, the oblation is put into fire. What you attain out of the yajna is Brahman. From beginning to end, it is all Brahman. With this we conclude. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.